Okay, boys and girls, now that you have your painting and it's dried, we're going to start assembling our caterpillar together. So make sure you have glue sticks and scissors. Also, if you didn't paint a blue background, you can just use construction paper, or you could color a blue piece of paper to put your caterpillar on. So let me turn the camera around and let's get started. Okay, so this is what our caterpillar will look like when we're finished. Yours may be a little bit different, but kind of similar. All right, so to get started, what I do is I cut the area of green off, and I put it to the side, and I cut my red and my yellow off. Next, if you have a lid or something you can trace around, I use this to trace around. You can use a pencil or a crayon. Just be nice and neat when you do it. So I use this circle, and I trace around the red, and that will be the caterpillar's head. So you can see that. All right. The yellow we'll just put aside for later, and yours may not be this big. This was just an example that was left over. Next, I make an oval pattern so that I can trace around it. Now, if you don't want to trace around it and you have help from a parent, you can actually fold your paper and trace, and then leave it where you can cut it, leave it folded, so you can do two at a time. So trace your oval. All right, and that one was having a little trouble fitting, so probably the way I folded it. So I'll just do one this way. All right, and leave it where I can cut those out. And carefully cut those out. Cut them all the way around, and then you will have two at a time, so it makes it a lot faster. I'll go ahead and cut all these out. And I generally use about 8 to 10 ovals. If you don't have enough, that's fine. 6 would work. I just tend to overdo things sometimes. All right, I have room for another one here, so I'm going to go ahead and trace it. Cut it out. So I'm going to end up with 7, and then the red for the head. Save your scraps for the grass. Okay, so here is my painted paper. Here is my construction paper. Doesn't matter what you use, or you can color it yourself. I leave room for the grass and room for feet. You can kind of play with them and overlap them. Make sure that they overlap. We don't want them side by side. We want them actually touching on top of each other. You can make them go up or down. And then I'll cut out my head. And I get them the way that I like them. And then I kind of know, yes, it all fits. And then I start taking them off from the back to the front. So that way when you put this one on, then you can take the next one off and know to overlap it. Okay, so you would use your glue stick, start at the back, and go forward. Okay, next with the yellow, I cut out a strip like this. I fold it over. I make 2 eyes. I make sure they're nice and big like the Very Hungry Caterpillar. And I cut those out. And we would glue those on like that. Okay, next You can cut out little circles, or if you have a hole punch, make 2 hole punches. And those go right here. And then you can make a 3rd one to be the mouth or the nose there. All right, so we would assemble it like that. All right, the next step. Okay, after that you can make little spikes of color, and maybe you have a little bit of the pink. You can use a snippet of the pink off of yours, a very small snippet that we did for the flamingo papers. Or if you have some scraps of different colors, even if it's newspaper print, you can use that and make a little hair. And you can make 2 antennae. Then the final steps, using your leftovers, you blank blades of grass at the bottom. And if you'd like to add feet, those don't have to be there, but I put some feet on just to be silly and fun. So I made the letter L, and I made it like a bubble print. So let me show you how I did that. So I went down and over like a letter L, then I made a second one down and over, and I cut it out, and I made little feet by making that shape right there. So that's up to you if you want to add the feet, but it does look cute with the blades of grass underneath them. So have fun creating.